Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another Appalachian Trail community news and Thru Hiker update and trail information. Well, I hope everybody is doing good. Here it is, been 70 degrees here down south in North Carolina around Christmas, and so we always hope for a white Christmas. We ain't getting it this year, that's for sure. Well, let's go ahead and find out what's going on the trail. So we still got folks that are out there from 2021, still got folks that are starting their hike from 2022. So right now we got Hype. He is on the ECT. Now eventually the Eastern Continental Trail, he's going to run into the Appalachian Trail up around Springer after he's done, of course, the rest of the Florida Trail, and he's going to Alabama Road Walk, and then the Pinhoti and the Benton McKay. Eventually that will run the Appalachian Trail, and he'll follow that all the way up, and then after he summits up at Katahdin, then the next thing he'll continue that all the way up into Canada. So he is out there on the ECT. He has had a bit of a setback. He has had to take about a week off. He's had some terrible blisters that have gotten down into his muscle, had to do some surgery. I'm not real clear if he did self-surgery or had somebody that's not a doctor do it on him, or if he went somewhere and had it done, but whatever the case may be, he's recuperating for about a week. Huge shout out to Trail Angel Radioactive down there, who has taken him in for about a week into his house, helped him with his healing process, helped him getting him supplies and stuff, and just being a true trail angel. And so we appreciate that, Radioactive. And another really neat thing about Radioactive is going to be doing an AT through hike himself, and he's going to be starting that on February 14th from Amicalola Falls State Park. So he'll be doing the approach trail, and you can find him and Hype and their social media. Those are in our hiker support list. That link is in the description section, so I encourage you to go and find that and check those guys out. We also got another one on the ECT who will eventually be on the AT, and that is Outback. And he started a couple days after Hype did, but he has caught up to him now, of course, because Hype had to stop for his injuries. Caught up to him now, and both of them are somewhere around Lake Okeechobee. Outback, he's going to continue on north, and he indicates that the southern section of the Florida Trail is quite strenuous, involving swamp walks, canal walks, and yes, road walks. It's hard on the body and taxing on the mind. So all that stuff, walking through swamps in the mud, and we talked about that last week with what Hype went through, literally crawling through about 0.8 of a mile of sawgrass, cutting him up the whole time. So none of that just seemed like a lot of fun to me, but these guys are definitely dedicated out there, and I'm sure in some way, shape, or form they're having fun, or they wouldn't be out there. But Outback says, as a former PCT hiker, that he kind of expected the conditions to be difficult, but he's never experienced anything out on a thru hike like he has down in southern Florida. And he's actually thru hiked some trails over in Australia as well, and that's how he got his trail name of Outback. So he expects many harsh road walks, especially through Alabama, but he's definitely looking forward to connecting up with the Pinhoti and then getting on the AT with that hiker community that the AT brings, that some of these other trails don't have as many folks on them and don't quite have that community that the AT does. And then Bone Spur, he is Sobo on the Appalachian Trail. He's been doing some flip-flopping around, and so himself, Runway, and Panic Check, they took advantage of some great weather, went ahead and flipped down, did the Smokies, and now he's going to flip back up and do Sam's Gap to I-40 there, where the Smokies, the southern section of Smokies comes out there, right there near I-40. So then he'll flip back around, and he will go and get in front of the Smokies and down to Fontana, and then he'll continue on down to Georgia and eventually to Springer. And then after Christmas, they're again going to head down from Way Gap to Springer, and Runway and Panic Check, they'll be done at that point. And so then Bone Spur, he will flip back up and do Wilbur's Dam to Sam's Gap, and he'll be done. So he had quite a flip-flop season this year, as well as a lot of folks out there. This seems to be the year of the flip-flop. Bone Spur did mention he had some great bluebird weather on Katahdin, Mount Washington, Franconia Ridge, and now the Smokies. So all those, if you can catch blue skies on those days going through those sections, that is really neat for something like that to happen. He did indicate in the Smokies, he ran into a group of somewhere around 20 Sobos, 10 of which were at Tri-Corner Shelter at one night. So still got a lot of folks, as I said, that are out there on the trail. Unfortunately, on a sad note, we lost one of our own, Rapture, who finished his thru hike and who thru hiked over 1,800 miles of the AT with his buddy Captain America, passed away on December 16th due to COVID. So just heard about that today. My prayers go out to the family. I hope yours do as well, or just your whatever it is you can send out there to them. Please do that, and you can go to Captain America's site there. He has put together a pretty neat little video tribute to Rapture, and so I'd encourage you to go there. And I'll leave a link down below to that, and leave a comment there. Rapture's family undoubtedly will be seeing that and seeing your comments. And so let's just let them know how much the hiker community cares about each other and how much we cared about Rapture. One of the things I want to mention out of that is many of you know, my father-in-law passed away recently, and he passed away due to COVID. And just like Rapture did, passed away due to COVID, there are some part of government grants that are available to people that have COVID written on their death certificate as either in whole or in part the reason that they passed away. And so those government grants are substantial, and they will help pay for funeral expenses. My father-in-law, or my mother-in-law rather, did receive that after we put in for that. And so it really, really helped out a lot. So if you didn't know that, those are out there available to you. I would encourage anybody that has a family member that passed away with COVID to take advantage of that. And then on a great note, we had a finished Father Time. He completed his 2020 thru hike, and he had 179 days on the trail, including 10 0 days. So congratulations to him. Our 2022 AT hikers that are registered for the ATC, we've got some that have already gotten on the trail, I've already mentioned, and then we got plenty of people that are registering, and we've got a couple folks that we're getting ready to start that are from our support list. So I'm sure there's more than this getting ready to start. Some of them are starting this week, but folks that are on our support list, Dave Barge, he is starting December 31st. We do not have a social media link for him. So Dave, if you hear this, please go and fill that in or send it to me through one of my DM links or my email below, and I'll be glad to update that for you to make sure that people have your social media links if you want them to have it, so that they can just keep you pumped up and follow along and keep you spurred along as you take your trip. And then Randy Simpkins, he starts on January 1, and he does have social media links, as does on our support list, as does Hype and Outback that we talked about just a few minutes ago. So all those folks are on our support list, and with the exception of Dave Barge, they do have, or Dave Burge, they do have social media links. And I would encourage you to go there and go there right now and find out their social media links and tell them that you're rooting for them as they get started out there. Some other folks on our list, they got on the list before they had a social media link, and so maybe now you've created that. Please go there and add that. If for some reason you have trouble adding it, you should be able to do it. If you can't, DM or email me, and I'll be glad to add that for you. And then if you're somebody who's not on the list, the thru hiker is not on the list, and you want to be on the list, and you want people to be able to follow you along and leave comments and maybe some trail magic and stuff out there for you, then please go to that list. The link to the form that will populate you to that list is down below the description section, as is if you're one of the hiker community and you're wanting to follow along the people that are on our list, then that link to that list is down below as well. So folks that we've got registered with the ATC, last week we had Nobo 1,826, and this week we jumped up to 1,900. Lost a few flip-floppers. We went from 65 to 63, and lost a few Subo. We went from 45 to 43. So we got a total up from 1,936 of 2,006 hikers. So that's 70 folks that have added to the ranks of thru hikers on the ATC registration. I had a subscriber that emailed me and wanted me to give previous year's updates of where we were at this particular time. So the ATC doesn't have that information publicly available, but I do. And I have that in my archives. I save all the archives that I have from each one of these updates. And so in 2019, at this particular time, we had 1,156 total people registered. And in 2020, we had 1,678 total people registered compared to 2006 now that we have right now registered. So we are climbing up for the last 3 years. We've been climbing up. And then on my hiker support list, we have 112 people that are registered, and that's tracking a little low than what it's been as 125 this time last year, but we wound up with over 400 people on the hiker support list, so I'm sure we'll still be, more people will be coming along. And then some trail news out there. Things are starting to wind down on the trail, mainly because we're into the holiday period now, and so there's less stuff going on. I did get my gratuitous solicitation from the ATC for my end-of-year contribution. I wrote them a check for a big fat nada, and I would encourage you to take your money and if you're going to contribute to the Appalachian Trail in some way, shape, or form, to go to a trail club near you or a smaller trail club and contribute to them so that your money goes directly to that trail club who doesn't have any bloated payroll. The ATC has a huge payroll, and so part of what you give does not go to the trail. It goes to a payroll, as opposed to everything you give to those clubs. Those are volunteers in there. Or you can give the Appalachian Long Distance Hiker Association, ALDA. They do trail work as well. They do trail magic as well out there. They give back to the trail community, give back to Thru Hikers, and so you can give to them as well. All those links I will leave down there below. And as indicated previously, I will be doing the Foothills Trail on starting December 26th, long as the weather holds out, and looking forward to doing that. Anybody wants to be a part of that, come on out. So far, I've counted somewhere around 15 folks that are going to be coming out and doing that, so it should be a good time. Looking forward to doing it. You'll have to make your own arrangements for your own shuttles. We'll be doing from Oconee State Park up to Table Rock, so I'll be leaving my car at Table Rock, and I'll be shuttling down to Oconee. I'll leave a link down below to where you can go and find shuttles that will get you from Table Rock, if you decide to do that, park your car there, down to Oconee. But you may not hear back from me, so this may be my last update for the year 2021, not forever, for the year 2021, because next week is Christmas weekend, and I'll probably be celebrating, and then the day after Christmas, I'll be heading to the Foothills Trail, be gone that whole week, so probably won't be doing a update until after the first of the year. But go ahead, Thru Hikers out there, send me your updates. Anyway, I'll be glad to include those on my next upcoming update, which will be around January 1 or January 2. Or folks out there that know some trail news, send that to me. I'll vet that out, and I'll include that as well. So keep that information coming to me. And then also wanted to mention that we had last week we had a book giveaway, Only When I Step on It. Just finished that book, and it is a really neat book for anybody that plans to get on the trail, is suffering from some type of injury, whether it be mental or physical, and is going to the trail for healing, or just somebody just in general may not even be going to the trail, just suffering from something. And it's just a great book that just talks about, how getting through things like that, getting through mental or physical sufferings, and how that eventually, you learn to live with it. You have to. The alternative is not what anybody wants to see, your family members or anybody or any of us in the hiker community. So you learn to live with it, or you learn to deal with it and get things better. And occasionally, hopefully more times than not, you get healing from it. So that book is really good for that. And we had a giveaway, so direct from the author there, and that was Flash 52. And he was a Thru Hiker is a thru hiker. Once you're a thru hiker, you're always a thru hiker. And so he wrote that book, and he's given away some books. And so the winner of the book from last week was Turtle from the Turtle Hikes channel. So Turtle, if you will DM or email me your mailing address, I'll get up with Flash 52 and make sure that we get you that book, or that he gets you that book. And appreciate him doing that. Appreciate him supporting the hiker community through his book. Well, folks, that's all I got this week. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you out here.